Hi, I'm Jody. I'm digital director here at Michigan Radio, and I put on real pants so I could film this video of me making a lemon blueberry cake. Because when life gives you lemon, you make lemon blueberry cake. And also I have the ingredients, and when I'm really stressed out, I bake. So, here we go. The ingredients you need are pretty simple, pretty basic baking stuff. You need 1 cup of butter, 4 eggs at room temperature, the butter also at room temperature, a half cup of firmly packed brown sugar, 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, and a tablespoon of vanilla, which is what we're going to do to mix the wet ingredients. So we'll get started. I don't know about you. I know I mentioned that when I'm stressed, I bake. So I am currently on my own with 2 cats here and have made banana bread, chocolate chip cookies, brownies, and now this. So things are going great, guys. I guess I should tell you, we're just gonna mix the butter for about a minute so that it can get nice and fluffy. Okay, to your eggs, you're going to then add your brown sugar and your granulated sugar. And then you're going to beat that on medium-high until they're well combined. I'm going to actually break up the brown sugar a little bit. I do have a paddle stand, or a nice kenmore back there, but for me, I sometimes just like to do everything harder. Now, once that's all combined and it looks pretty delicious, you're going to add in your eggs. And yes, 4 eggs, it's a lot of eggs. And you put them all in at once. Oh, good. My recipe also just left the screen, so that's great. And luckily I remembered 1 tablespoon of vanilla. So you're going to mix these together until they're well combined. Obviously, I'm just going to scrape down the sides a little bit so everything gets incorporated. All right, and that is mixed. So let me, oops, just got flour everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over here. Now we're going to move on to our dry ingredients. So this is 3 cups of flour. They say to, sift it and spoon it and level it, but I'm not that fancy. And I've made this recipe before and it really didn't, still tasted delicious. So I'm gonna say it's okay. And then to that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Then we're also going to do a half teaspoon of salt. And then we are going to, let me double check, make sure I got everything. Yep, I'm gonna whisk that together. Okay, now we are going to add all of our dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. So we'll pull this back. And we're going to add it just a little bit in at a time. Now this is something that you can do with a stand mixer, but I don't know. I need the arm workout because I feel like a potato. So we're just going to do it by hand. So now that that's all combined, we are going to add in the lemon flavor and make this a little more cake batter-like. So we have a cup of buttermilk. And if you're like me and didn't doomsday prep and grab buttermilk, I made just really quick and easy with a tablespoon of vinegar, and you fill up the rest of the cup up to 1 cup with regular milk, and then you let that sit for a bit, and it makes buttermilk. Okay, and then you have 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. And then a half a cup of lemon juice, which is about 3 medium lemons. Okay. Okay, you're going to stir this until just combined. which probably would be a lot sooner if I were actually using KitchenAid. Okay, they say this batter is supposed to be thick and that if you overmix, it'll make it crumbly, which I don't know if you're like me. I already knew that because I watched the Great British Bake Off. So what we're gonna do now is add our blueberries to the mixture. And even though this is a thick batter and the blueberries shouldn't sink to the bottom, you're still going to want to toss them. This is a 1.5 cups of blueberries, and I put in a tablespoon of flour, and that should just help them stick a little bit better in the batter and prevent them from sinking to the bottom of all your layers. So we'll just put these in there. Okay. Oops. All right. So that is all combined. I'll show you. Okay, so now we are going to put the batter evenly amongst 3 different cake pans. If you're like me, I only had 2 regular cake pans, and then I had this springform pan, which could either be really great or a disaster. We'll find out. Stay tuned. And now I'm just gonna spread the cake batter out evenly in the pans. So we're gonna put these into the oven for 21 to 25 minutes. Obviously, you know your oven better than I do, so just check on it. You're going to want to just do the toothpick test in the center just to ensure that everything's baked properly. So into the oven they go. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 22 minutes. I'm gonna pull it out, check it, and see if it's done. Ooh, steamy. Okay, we're gonna do the toothpaste test. Toothpaste test? Toothpick test. Oh, that was pretty good. Okay. So now that our cakes are cooling, they're still in the pan. I want to give them a little bit time to stay in the pan before I take them out so they don't crumble all over the place because they're still warm. But we're going to make our frosting. So for this, you're going to need 1 8-ounce square cube of cream cheese, half a cup of butter, which is 1 stick of butter, 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. You're going to use a teaspoon of vanilla, and then you're going to use 1 to 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, depending on how thick or how creamy you want your frosting to be, and then a pinch of salt. So we're going to start by combining the butter and cream cheese, which I'm very excited about. Again, we're doing this the hard way with the hand mixer, but it's actually kind of less cleanup in a way, so small victories there. And they say to beat this until combined, and I think they said about 3 minutes. Okay, now we're going to add in our confectioner sugar, which I guarantee is going to fly everywhere. And then we're going to put in our tablespoon of vanilla. I tend to over vanilla things because it's impossible to go wrong with vanilla. Oops, that tends to happen over here. And then we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of heavy cream. And then a little bit of salt. All right, wish me luck. I'm going to add just a little bit more whipping cream to this because, as you can see, I am clogging up these little guys, and then I'm also liberally sprinkling my tabletop with powdered sugar. So. Well, now that we have successfully made a mess, I'm going to just try to stir the rest of this up with my little spatula here. All right, so we have our frosting made. It's a mess. I'm going to clean up the mess, and then I'm going to check on our cakes. They probably still need to cool a little bit more, and then we'll come back and frost them. it's been a while and our cakes are cooled pretty much. They say to go over them, the top, to flatten them out with a serrated knife, but that has never ever really worked for me, so I'm just gonna wing it. It's gonna be a wonky cake, but I'm the only one eating it, so it's fine. So we're gonna start, we're just gonna put a little dollop of frosting on the bottom of a cake plate just to keep it secure. And I'm just gonna put this one up here. And then we're just gonna load it with frosting and hope that this crumb doesn't get everywhere. Like I said, not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but still pretty good. Let me go get blueberries. Oh, and there goes a cat. So I'm just gonna put them around the outside. Right, and voila, she's finished. And she looks delicious. So, I hope that you too can take the lemons we've been given and turn it into something delicious. I know it's a hard time we're all going through, but I'm hopeful that this quick little baking tutorial brightened up your day a little bit. So thank you for listening to Michigan Radio, visiting us online, supporting us however you do. Feel free to subscribe to our daily newsletter, The Beat, where my team talks with you and lets you know what's going on in the newsroom every day. It's a kind of a personal look from us to you, and probably this will be featured in it at some point. So, bon appetit! Thanks! Bye!